the man just get his mail in peace? Just once. Just one time. So, that'd be nice. Get mic'd up here. You know, some nights when I'm drifting off to sleep to the sound of bent metal screeching under the gentle caress of a radioactive windstorm, I can't help but wonder if it's worth the risk. The hike to a post office, that is. This seeming slavery that I have for just the possibility of crumbs off your table, dear viewer, from your society that's still mostly intact and full of interesting nerd products that seem to keep showing up in my inbox without explanation and defying all reason. But since they keep coming, I find myself unable to keep myself from making the trip. I just crave that reminder that somewhere out there there's a better world with normal people who can have normal conversations without attempting to eat one another, or who have most, if not all, their limbs still attached and say things like, "My, how fine your marigolds have begun sprouting." Anyway, let's see what we got here. I already took a peek. As you can see, can't help myself. We've got a little letter of introduction here. My dear friend Dis, may this print and play dungeon crawler type game warm your cold dead heart during your cold dark evenings and help to assuage your stark and maddening loneliness. Know that I am thinking of you and will continue to convert and post your VHS tapes to YouTube to your adoring fans on your behalf, all three of them. Yours truly, not signed, Chudley Chudderton. Not a real name. So, Chudley, as long as you keep sending me things to help me not go insane, I will continue sending you VHS tapes for YouTube, whatever that is. Wastewalkers, rugged world, ramshackle outposts, desolate landscapes. Okay. Guys, see, this was not quite what I was looking for. I was more thinking of a distraction, not a biography. Nothing like a cheerful evening of post-doomsday gaming to cheer me right up, eh? No matter. It's not like I have anything else to do with my evening's ration of gasoline power anyway. Yeah, so let's take a look at this. Let's see, all you need is standard playing cards, which I got. Full set of polyhedral dice, of course. Printed copy of the snazzy pamphlet and 2 to 5 friends. No, don't have those anymore. Or go solo. Yeah, I think that's what we'll be doing. One friend will be the game moderator. Prepare for a couple thrilling hours of session. This work is based on Songs and Sagas, product of Fari RPGs, developed and authored by René Pierre's some French name. So it appears that our authors for this game are Fari Games and difficult to pronounce French name person. And to you, I would say, you know, you should just appreciate your non-dystopian socio-economic reality a little bit. I realize that sometimes it seems like the grass is greener on the far side of the end of the world, and I know sometimes it might feel like your 9-to-5 job and rush hour traffic are just too much, and you find yourself fantasizing about descending into a writhing hellscape. And maybe that's easier than getting yelled at by your boss or balancing your checkbook. Maybe you find that daydreaming about dystopia is cathartic, but just remember that someone somewhere in another dimension or timeline is literally living in a hellscape, and maybe that lonely young survivor would have preferred something a little more lighthearted, like, I don't know, a Thomas Kincaid puzzle, a nice 500-piece pastoral cottage to assemble while sipping a cup of Earl Grey and eating crumpets. I don't know what crumpets are, but sounds like something I could go in for at the end of a long day of scavenging expired junk food from the Circle K whilst fending off a horde of mutant beagles. But instead we've got a waste crawl. That's okay though. I'm trying not to complain too much, but you're all I have. But this is what we're doing tonight, so we might as well get into it. And who knows, maybe with my wealth of survival skills I've been carefully honing, I'll be able to get through this in short order. As usual, I'm going to figure out how to play this and proceed to play it until I am completely bored, or hopefully able to complete a whole campaign. And after that, I'll give you my thoughts. So if you just want to get the bottom line, go ahead and fast forward that tape to the appropriate time. Otherwise, let's go. Let's get into this. I do like these small kind of adventures where you can consume the rules and play a game all in the same session. Sometimes that's just, I think it's really fun. So hopefully that'll be what we experience this time. The design of this is nice, you know, just from a cursory overlook or looking over it. Although very compressed to try to get it on as many or as few pages as possible, it appears. Welcome. Step right up in this rugged world where charming ramshackle outposts dot a stunning, desolate landscape controlled by colorful outlaws is crossed out. Amazing fellows. The humor is not lost on me. The people are so diverse, whether it's the hardy nomadic tribes strolling through the swirling dunes, the resilient folks from the old world undercities, or the cowards orbiting our planet in their apocalypse shelters. You'll be in good company. Okay, so we have a little bit of world building. I'm guessing that we're not going to get a whole lot of that throughout, but I like that they're kind of packing it in. Also, check out our selection of shabby, trusty weapons. Each one is a unique blend of old world tech mixed with the explosive blood of the blighted who crawl the depths of the undercities. Fancy. They said fancy, I didn't say fancy. Strap onto your blighted blood-powered chasers. I wonder what that means, chasers. Or hop aboard the legendary Sentinel's watch train. And let's play to find out. Waste crawl. Grab a piece of paper, your trusty map. Shudley, it appears, has given us I think this is our map. Roll that lucky d20 on the sheet and draw a circle around it. That's where your region is. Now flip a card to reveal the risk rating of your current location. Okay, so we're just diving right into it. Sometimes I get uncomfortable with that, but here we go. Okay, all right, there's our starting point, I guess. Maybe it had in mind a bigger map, I'm not sure. Now flip a card, okay. Let me get my cards. So I'm not sure if we keep jokers in or not, it doesn't say, but whatever. Jack of diamonds, and I thought it read we keep the cards. I'm not sure what to do. Jack of diamonds, rating. Oh, interesting, my cards are not the right color. Black and yellow, and black and red, oh well. Start at 2, and an unexpected twist turns the tail. How could we turn the tail if there's no tail yet? Well, I'm not sure, but so our risk rating is 2, okay? The risk rating shows the danger level of your region, ranging 1 to 3, with potential to shift based on your story. When you venture into a new area, simply draw another circle next to your current one, reveal a card, and interpret it just like before. So, I said draw a circle around it. I've already forgotten. Which one were we at? Difficulty rating, I'll just put it in the corner, is 2. Okay. All right, so details. All right. Details. Name. Oh man, so much pressure. I don't know anything about my Wastewalkers so far, so I'll just name him after me, I guess. Dis. Pronouns. Someone, I guess. I don't know why it wants to know our no pronoun. I'm assuming that means pronouns for dis, someone, him. It's a he. Background. Whoa, I've got like one sentence background. Janitor. I don't know why. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I was not a janitor. I'm not a janitor. Was never a janitor, but that's what I'm putting here. Not that there's anything wrong. If you're a janitor, that's admirable. It's cool. I have an uncle that's a janitor. Well, was. He retired, and now he's dead, like everyone. Anyway, I respect janitors. Gosh, I'm just so worried about offending my 3 fans. Attributes. Okay. Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to do this yet. Let's read some more. When taking a daring action, you choose one of the 4 attributes, and then you roll against the difficulty rating. Okay, with a bonus from the attributes. Makes sense. Going back over here, success means that... Success means you seize control of a moment in the scene and you can narrate. So if this was with typical GM, then the player would get to narrate what happens for a moment, and then you can claim a card to later burn if you haven't burned a card. Okay, but that says always make sure it's the red card. If you fail, it's a setback, and you get to gain an XP, it says. Okay. And then some consequences. It says that some of those consequences could be loss of endurance, damaged weapon or armor, or a new condition. All right. The luck roll. When you take an action with an uncertain outcome but no significant risk, perform a trial roll as normal but skip step 3. Okay. When you acquire an item, you place it in your inventory. Weapons come with a die roll. Weapons may sustain damage. If they're damaged, you step down the die roll. So a d6 would go to d4. And you can repair them during a long rest. Apparently we're all... that would make sense, I think, the little I know of a post-apocalyptic environment, you do need to know how to repair a thing or two, though. I don't know that I could repair a laser rifle in a pinch. Maybe I could oil a gun, a bolt-action rifle. I would be stretching it, though. Burn a card from your hand. Press on. +2 to your... Okay, so these are the things you can do if you decide to burn a card. Does it have to be red, though? It said always choose a red card over a black one. But what difference is that? Oh, because red's bad. So the black would go back into the pool. Is that why? No, red's good. Why would you choose a red over black? Maybe that'll become more clear. Because it says over here to grab a red card over a black one. And here, when you burn a card, it doesn't talk about red or black. So I'm not sure why, but... Press on. You can add +2 to your score. You can aid an ally, not applicable to me unless there's NPCs in here. You can turn the table by changing the narrative, it sounds like. You can come prepared. Oh, you can like reverse time and get an item as if it's always existed in your loot, or in your inventory rather. You can trade loot, so you can mark an XP. Yeah, well that wouldn't be burning it, it's just trading it. Okay. Endurance conditions. Your endurance is your health. Why don't you just call it health then? Drops to 0. You make a trial roll. Success, you refuse to fall. Set your endurance back to 1. Setback, you're incapacitated. And then you get a condition. In my case, I'd probably just be dead because no one is going to be helping me in my solo experience. Armor helps you resist damage. It is defined by a die roll. When an enemy attacks, roll your armor die. Why is it talking about this? Not combat. It's talking about combat here. Why is it talking about armor here? Whatever. Armor may be ignored or damaged. Rest, short. Take a quick half-hour break to catch your breath, and you can reveal a card to bring back endurance. A long rest is longer, obviously. Reveal a card and double the result. Okay. You can also repair, but only for the amount of the short rest. So why would you ever short rest? Because there's no consequence for a long rest. Not clear. Full. Take a week to fully restore health. All right, that's Solo Oracle. If you need to resolve uncertainties and your character isn't actively involved, come up with a yes or no question. Reveal one card plus an additional card for each factor that could boost the chances of a favorable result. Okay. So you reveal one card. It says you can add more cards for each factor. So where do those factors come from? Are those just from the narrative? Do I invent those? How do I get those factors? That's not clear. If you reveal at least two red cards, the answer is a strong yes. If you reveal one red card, the answer is a weak yes. If you reveal no red cards, the answer is a firm no. Scavenging. So looks like solo, you get to reveal an extra card because you're solo, so that's helpful for me. For each red card, you can choose either super cool gear that takes space in your inventory, or keep the card in your hand. Like we said earlier, it can be traded for XP down the road or burned, I guess. Doesn't say that here, but I assume so. NPC reactions. I guess I could zoom in a little here. When an NPC reaction isn't clear, reveal a card and see how they feel. Okay. Combat. Now we get to the good stuff. To determine who takes the first swing in combat, reveal a card. All right, we'll come back to that when that happens. Enemies. Making enemies is easy peasy. Give them endurance, armor, and a weapon, and voila. It's that simple, folks. That's all you have to do. No guide on how that works, apparently, but okay. During your turn, choose one of the following actions. You can improve your odds, so that's common for games where you're trying to give yourself an advantage, as some games would call it, or just your typical attack. How do you attack? The weapon die rating serves as the attack's damage die, but what about to hit? Is that a thing? Or do you automatically hit? So you make a trial roll. On what? Would that be on toughness, maybe? Okay, so you make a trial roll. If you're successful, then use the damage die. If you roll, and step it up if you roll a 20. Oh, 20 on the trial. You can step up your damage die. Step down on the damage die once or twice if you roll a 1. So which is it, once or twice? Why would you give that option? Nobody's going to want to do it twice. So is that, I don't know, these rules. The GM may inflict a consequence in addition. Okay. Attacks always hit. This determines the strength of your strike. Wait a minute. We just said we make a trial roll. I am confused. I am so confused. So you make a trial roll, use the damage. So you do your trial, and then use the damage die as is. Step up or step down if it's a 20 or a 1. But it says attacks always hit. This determines the strength of your strike. Maybe it means attacks always hit. They always hit if you've made your trial roll. But that would be okay. So maybe it's clarifying that if you roll a 1, then you're not missing. It's just not as good. That's probably what it means. Okay, that was confusing. All right, I'm struggling with these rules, guys. I would say that for such a short little game, it's introducing more ambiguity than a much larger game and taking more time to learn. Feat attack. Let's see, I skipped this. Roll the damage die to deal that much damage to your target's endurance, minus their armor roll. Feat attack. Describe how you harm your enemy in a creative way. The GM assigns a damage die to your action. Resolve it just like a weapons attack. Okay, well, why wouldn't I always just do feat attacks then? Just try creative ways to impress the GM with all these interesting feats rather than a normal attack. I don't know. When an enemy attacks, defend yourself with a trial roll. Success, you definitely avoid the attack. So I'm guessing you do that on... fast. I'm guessing. You roll... Okay. If you roll a 20, your next rolls, DR is lowered. Does that mean next defensive DR? I mean the next defensive attack, or does that just mean any check on difficult rating? I don't know. If setback, you take a hit, use the damage die, step it up if you rolled a 1. You may get a consequence, your armor may be damaged. The GM rolls a damage die and deals that much damage to your endurance minus your armor die roll. Makes sense? Mobs of enemies may be grouped together as a single entity. When an enemy feels outnumbered or see their leader fall, reveal a card. Okay, so we get a morale check. All right. Your character. Your attributes. Your 4 attributes are the primary means of interaction in the world. So why is it? Yeah, I don't know. I'm bugged that it's just talking about those now, like on the is it the last page? So we get to near the end of these rules. Why didn't it talk about these initially? Because we kind of have anchors. We need to anchor to these for the other rules we read. Whatever. 4 attributes are the primary means for interacting with the world. With your tough, you may smash, hoist, strike, overwhelm. You're fast, bolt, sneak. Pretty obvious. Smart, human. I like the term human, and I will say this: I do like these attributes. Those are the 4 that I would pick, frankly, if I was designing a game. Because I mean, 3's too small, as we've seen in other games. 5, 6, too many. I like this. This is the Goldilocks of attributes right here. Tough, smart, fast, and human. I like it. Attribute modifier. Set your attribute to +2. Oh, okay, so to determine your starting modifiers, you roll cards. All right, let's do that. This is exciting. See, this is the part I get excited about. When I'm getting to know a character, we're learning who this person is. Dis the janitor. All right. Kind of nervous. All right, let's get it. We've got a diamond, so starts at 2. Oh, I'm looking at the risk rating. Okay. Diamond is 1, +1, so toughness is +1. I'm gonna need pencil. I probably should do this the right way. Oh gosh. +1. And another diamond to fast. Smart. We may not be as shuffled as we need to be here. Oops. Hearts. +2. I need to shuffle better, I think. I might have just inadvertently given myself some sweet stats. Some awesome stats. Let me just shuffle a little bit better. I'm gonna take those. I don't know. We should probably do it more, but that'll do for now. Okay, if you're not satisfied, you have the option to reveal another card. However, you must accept the new result. That makes sense. But we are going to accept our results as we've gotten them. At the start of your game, choose a background for your character. We already did. We're a janitor, which increases certain attributes. Oops. All right. So there are actual backgrounds. Surprise, surprise. None of them are janitors. All right. Okay. So we've got the orbiters. These are people living, I assume, that are orbiting the Earth. They came back to the surface, searched for signs of the world were ready to welcome them back. Okay, so that gives you human +2, a smart +1, and D6 +3 endurance. Hollower, your ancestors survived God knows how. And now we live in the old world, under cities, and there are twisted tunnels. Okay. They remain human, at least partly. Fast increases by 2, tough by 1, endurance D8 +3. Okay, we've got our Duner. I liked Dune. Is Dune big in your timeline? It's a good book. Your kin have learned to embrace the first one's good. After it lost me. the second one and on just way too metaphysical and political, and yeah, something about a worm god. No thanks. Okay. Your kin have learned to embrace the barren wasteland, becoming nomads, ever traversing shifting sand dunes. They navigate the harsh land, scavenging among wreckage. This is like me. If I wanted to be autobiographical, I would pick the Dooner. Increase your tough by 2, fast by 1, and your max endurance by, okay, D10 plus 3. That's compelling. I like that better. A little bit more endurance for a solo RPG. And then you got Streeter, and I'm already looking down here at the Streeter's endurance and seeing it's a D6. So I think I'm just going to go with the Dooner because they're the ones that have the best toughness and endurance. So we're going to do that. So toughness by 2, fast by 1, endurance D10 plus 3. So we got tough plus 3. What did I say the other one was? Fast. Fast plus 2. And a D10 plus 3. All right, 10. I'll take it. 13. Yeah. Not going to say no to that. Okay, armor and weapon. You begin with a D4 armor set, and you also get a D6 weapon. Doesn't say what that weapon is, so we're here at, it's an interesting design. I'm not sure how best to indicate that I have it. I guess we'll go like that. What kind of weapon? I mean, I'm a fan of shotguns in the wasteland, so I guess we'll go with that. What was it, a D6? Yes. Shotgun. Although, didn't it say something about, yeah, right here. It says something about like, each one is a unique blend of old world tech mixed with the explosive blood of the blighted who crawl the depths of the undercity. I don't know what the blighted are, but they have explosive blood. So should I do like a, I mean, I don't know how hard it is to get ammo that's blighted blood, but let's go with the lore and say we've got a blighted blood squirt gun. That's what we've got. D6. Oh boy. Ammo might be interesting to find, but this is much more exciting, I think, than a shotgun. What do you guys think? All right. Where were we? Experience. Whenever a trial roll results in a setback, you're an XP. We read that, yes. And so the XP goes here. Once the track is filled, you level up, and this is the level up process. We'll read that when and if it becomes applicable. And then we have an oracle. All right, let's look at this oracle a bit. Right off the bat, I'm seeing things like things that make me think this is part of the more of a fantasy one. So I'm guessing this oracle comes with the other rule. What was that game? It says that this is based off another game, Songs and Sagas, probably more of a sword and sorcery type game. So I'm not sure how well these will translate to our wasteland, or whatever this game is called again, Wastewalkers. We do need an oracle, so we'll take it. All right, Wastewalkers. I've got my, oh yeah, I need to cross out my janitor. I mean, we'll say he's the janitor of the Dooners. How about that? The Dooner janitor. So there. I didn't ruin it. Okay, so let's go. Let's get started. And to get started, I mean, it didn't give me any clues as far as how to start this thing. What's my purpose? I see on this paper that the island, I guess, where the quest goes, I have regions, and I roll an oracle to determine a little bit about the region. So we'll do that first. I do know that there's a difficult rating of 2 here. Actually, how am I gonna, I should oracle it up to try to find a quest. And there is a quest here. There's also themes, action. Okay, we can get what we need to here. Visions and omens. Names, okay. Personality. Maybe we should figure out what my personality is first. Let's do that. I mean, it's named after me, but I don't want it to be me. Like, I mean, I'm not a janitor or a dooner. So let's see what else we can come up with as far as who this person, what this person's like. 9, oh, this is a D20. Let me roll one more, whatever. I'll just do the D20. 17 is aloof. That tracks for a janitor dooner. He's an aloof fellow. Let's find a quest. D10 for recover. So it needs to recover something. Oh, pick 2. Okay. Recover what? A location. He needs to recover how do you recover a location? That's a weird, maybe it's okay, so it's a location that has been taken over, right? So we'll go ahead and say that the furthest area, this location has been taken over by what? So they've taken this place, and why is it valuable to us? How could we do that? So it's valuable to us because, let's do some themes. Let's see if we can get a theme out of this. It's valuable to us because of honor. Okay, so let's say it's a burial ground for Dooners. And we want it back. Who's it been taken over by, though? There's a threat. It's been taken over by none other than the Army of the Cross. I don't really see the Army of the Cross being a thing in the... I mean, let's do it differently, though, because that's obviously not following the lore of the Wastewalkers. So let's go back to our welcome message here. There were some factions it mentioned. Old World Undercities, there's the Blighters, there's the Hollower, what were they, the Hollowers? Let's go to our backgrounds. Backgrounds. Okay, so let's write some of these down. Let's just do a new list. There's just trying to find somewhere to write it. We'll write it here. All right, so we've got our 5 factions. Now let's roll on we'll say 6 is an other, and we'll roll a d6. The others could be the Janitors Guild. 2. Okay, so there are other Dooners. All right, so this is another faction of Dooners that have claimed this territory as their own, this Dooner burial ground. Let's go ahead and figure out what this type of terrain this is. Is tundra? Yeah. We're going to re-roll because that doesn't make sense for Dooners. Okay, so there's some plateaus. That makes sense. So let's draw some plateaus here. There's probably nothing on the top but a bucket and a mop. Maybe an illustrated book about birds. And since it's the last area, we're gonna go ahead and say that it has a difficulty rating of 3. Isn't that the worst it can get? Isn't that what we read? I need better organization. Yes, the risk rating, it's a 3. 3 risk rating. Okay, so now we're here, and the problem is, I'm guessing that normally this game, your objective wouldn't be a set place, so you would kind of explore the map as a hexcrawler, not sure exactly where you're going. And so I'm gonna give myself some constraints here and say I can't just go straight to it. I've gotta sort of meander. So we're gonna create some cliffs, or maybe some artificial like water. So here's some water that kind of cuts this way. So I have to go around here. But then because this is a plateau, we've also got cliffs here. So I have to kind of go this way and then this way. So that'll be the way we go. That makes more sense. Prolong our adventure as long as possible. All right, so we've got to figure out where we are, though. This is a D20. It is a foul marshland. That would make sense with the water everywhere. And there's a point of interest, which is there is a settlement, kind of a very humble settlement. All right, so how do I determine if there are baddies here or not, and what I have to do? What am I here to do? I'm a dooner. I just kind of landed on the island. I have no help, but for some reason, why is it that me alone have to basically reclaim our ancestral burial ground? We'll say that no one actually asked me to do it, but I have not had much respect in my community, and I would like to be an elder in the community. Not just a janitor, but respected and loved. And I know that if I can go over here and basically kick these folks out and reclaim our ancestral ground before the rest of my fellow Dooners arrive, then I will receive great glory and for sure am a shoo-in for that election. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get there before anyone else. Also, there's cliffs all around. That's how come I have to go this way. And I can't land here on my skiff. So with that in mind, I'm first going to go to the settlement and try to get some information on the Dooners that are over here. So let's find out who lives in this settlement first off. D6, and they are other Dooners. So I'm guessing that they're buddies. So this is a hostile environment, and I see that pretty quickly that there are Dooners there. So the question is, do they notice me? All right, this is getting real. Am I going to be noticed by these Dooners? I feel like I'm missing something. Like there should be an easier way to determine. Maybe the Oracle has some little... Let's look back at this thing. Oh, exploration. I should have probably read this. Filled with... okay, at the start of the game, each time you enter a new hex, take the time to describe the region. Use your imagination or jumpstart it with following roll tables. Write down key details in one of the numbered boxes. Finally, reveal a card. Okay, we did the risk already. So that's what threw me off, is that we'd already done it and I didn't go over these. It's my fault. Involved in the outcome, formulate yes, no. Yes, we already know how to do that. So... that still doesn't really answer the question as far as like if there are baddies, how many. There are threats though, but we're not going to use those threats. We've got our own threat table. I should add to that threat though, because there could be like other monsters. So maybe we'll add to that list a few more. So let's do like zombies. We'll do mutant loons because we're in marshland. We'll do... what are other creatures that could be in this post-apocalyptic wasteland that are still surviving? We'll come up with another group of people just called the Lost that are basically just like eking out a survival, but they're not thriving like these other factions. Oh, and then we got to do... make it dark and say there's cannibals. Or... we could just do worms, like sandworms. Since I'm a dooner. That seems appropriate. Alright. Okay, so there are Dooners here. Do they notice me? That's the question. Let's find out with an oracle. So, is there anything, it says that we draw one card, but we can draw multiple if we have anything, any advantages we can add. So narratively speaking, I mean, I don't have a lot. I'm new to this area. Do I have any advantages? I'm a duner, not a marshlander, so this is outside my comfort zone. A small settlement. Do my janitor skills come into play here? I don't think they do. I think I'm just gonna get a one card. So it's a yes. I do avoid any of them noticing me. I'm able to slip by. All right. Banging on all cylinders here. This was region number 1, and I forgot to write everything down. If we do can we do search for anything? I guess if I've snuck by, then I don't know if I deserve any loot. So probably no loot. All right, let's go to number 2, and for now on, I'll put the risk rating over here. All right, let's see what kind of risk we get. Oh, and I think we keep the cards to the side. I think I forgot to do that. And this is a diamond, so it is a risk rating of 2. And there's an unexpected twist. What would the twist be? First off, let's roll to see what kind of area we're in here. D20 gives us it's decaying. I think we'll stick with our marshland. It's kind of a decaying marshland, so it's even worse. Just kind of decaying trees, and maybe there used to be a forest here and it's just like a swamp now, a bog. D10. I rolled an 8, and there's a farmstead here, which I'm guessing would not be operable. So it's kind of this is not an operational farmstead by any means. So it's just kind of ramshackled. Is ramshackled can that be past tense? I don't know. These are the types of questions that keep me up at night. But there is a twist. Okay, so what would the twist be? There are duners here that are my enemy. So a twist might be, oh my goodness, I have friends here. There's actually good duners? That could be the twist. Or what other twist? I mean, at this point, I'm expecting anything. A sandworm there, that would be crazy. Would not expect that. Let's roll to see if we can find what that twist is. And let's see, maybe it's a theme. Let's roll two theme ideas. So fruit and lack. Well, there is a lack of fruit. Why is that a surprise? Because there is a farmer there at the ruined wasteland of the farm, and this farmer has no crops or fruit. Okay. That's a bummer for him, though I would fully expect that would be the case. So what is the twist? The twist is that instead of farming fruit, what he has, we're going to go dark because my brain, this is where it went, and we're going with it. He has planted limbs. There's like arms and legs planted in the ground. Because he has a lack of fruit, he's decided to plant people, parts of people. All right, that's disturbing. Why does my mind go there? Well, maybe it's because of where I live. What's your excuse? Is this person a threat to me? I mean, I'm guessing they are. So next question is, let's see, let's write all this down. First off, is he alone? Is it just him? So let's, clubs. Let's see, is there any factors that would help me? I don't think there is. I think it's just one card again. So, it's a black card, so no, he is not alone. So he's got his wife, and they're both pretty messed up at this point. And do they see me is the next question. let's see, I want to do that and then the other way around. Like, am I able to sneak by them? That's the question. Although, do I want to? I mean, this isn't my primary objective, but you know, I do have a moral compass, and I'm worried that they're going to. But maybe these dead bodies are they've just found. Maybe they're doing the settlement a service by taking their dead and disposing of them for them. I don't know. I don't want to judge. But I really don't want to mess with these people. This is where I'm trying to go. So I will try to sneak by. Am I successful sneaking by? Yes, I am. All right, so no loot for me. I'm just trucking ahead, going to the next thing, and that's fine. No combat yet. I mean, at some level, I feel disappointed. Like, I would want my character to destroy the farmer, but I know that my character, that's not what he wants, so I gotta be true to him. Let's see what happens at our hex number 3. This is a flooded, that fits. Oops. A flooded, I need to roll a D10. Flooded plateaus, that doesn't make much sense. So we'll say that there are small plateaus along kind of the cliff edges over here, which is why I couldn't land there. So there are some plateaus going over there. But otherwise, this is pretty flooded, this plain. And I think that that's probably the part of the risk, is that there's so much water here. My art, whatever. Okay, let's do risk rating. Okay, we've got clubs again, so DR2, and that also means that there's, oh, I did that wrong. Oh, there's an impending threat. Oh, so starts at 2, but there's an impending threat this time. So this time I'm gonna have to deal with some baddies for sure. I'm not getting out of it. And it's but the threat could be the water itself, right? I could just be, in fact, I think that's what it is. Like, traversing through this area, I'm realizing is quite dangerous because it's so flooded. And maybe there's animals in the water. I don't know. Let's roll for another threat that complicates it even further. So there's wrong threat table. Wayless seer. What is that? Okay, let's roll on here. So it's a sandworm. There is a water worm in the water. There is some sort of eel or squirmy thing in this water, and it is an imminent threat. And I'm going to have to deal with that threat. You know, in the past, I snuck by people by doing the oracle. I probably should have snuck past using my speed. That's okay though. I'm gonna try to use my smart to see if I can find a way through this. Like, kind of navigate, or think of a strategy that will get me through without drowning, or seeing this worm, to see if I can get an advantage. That's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna roll a feat to see if I can do that. The difficulty though, I'm gonna give it a difficult rating of, yeah, I mean, it's formidable. It's a 15, so I'm gonna have to roll a 15 to think of a way through, to see a way through this. So I've got a D20 and I get oh, my smart's I'm not very smart. Maybe this was a bad idea. We're committed though, we're doing it. So roll on the smarts. So I fail miserably at that. I am not able to see a way through this. And the time I spend doing that, I'm attacked. That's my setback. Oh, but I get an XP because I did get a setback. Woohoo. It makes it feel better when something bad happens to you. I kind of like that mechanic. So I'm being attacked by a worm, and as it says in the combat section, enemies, it's easy peasy. You just give them endurance, armor, and weapon, and voila. So I don't know, that's weird to me. Like, okay, so let's just go off of what I am. I have a D6 and my armor's a D4. I forgot to write that down. What is my armor? Oh man, I'm doing it in pen. Armor. I don't know what my armor is. It's some sort of some sort of desert suit. I forget what they call that in the dune. Okay, so anyway, I have a D4 and a D6. This is a worm. I don't know, endurance. Let's say that the water worm has endurance of, so my endurance is a 13. I don't know. This is hard. We're gonna roll on a D6. We're gonna make a D6 decide. All right, so he's kind of tough. He's got 5 endurance. Actually, we're gonna do this the more fun way. I always like boxes, filling in boxes, because it's much more satisfying. 5 endurance, and let's say that his armor rating, I mean, he's a worm, so he's pretty fleshy, but he is thick. The flesh is pretty thick. We're gonna give him we'll give him a D4 as well. But his attack is, he's blind, and he's in the water, and he telegraphs his attacks pretty well. So he just doesn't do the same amount of damage. We're gonna say he does, we'll say that he does a D4 -1. That's what we're gonna say. I don't know. We're gonna fill this out. That's probably too weak, but I'm a little afraid at this point. We've got a long way to go, and I need to understand what a powerful and not powerful enemy is. So maybe that's a little weak. All right, it is. We're gonna go D4, D4. You convinced me. All right, so attack. How do we do initiative again? We both draw. Oh no, we just draw 1. And it's a diamond, so I get to go first. That's great news. Okay, so I'm gonna take out my blood squirt gun, and right when the worm is about to attack, I'm worried it's too wet, that the blood squirt gun is not gonna really be effective, so I'm gonna aim for the mouth, like right when it opens to attack, and also get ready to dodge at the same time. I'm gonna squirt. It's not like a little squirt gun. This is more like a super soaker, by the way. Like this is a good squirt gun. So I've got to roll. My toughness is +3, and I've got to roll above a what? The difficulty rating. Wait, make a trial roll to attempt to reduce your DRs. Just hold up. I need to think. So I think I was looking at this wrong. So the difficult rating, there is a rating for an area that you do when you first get there. You explore an area and you get a risk rating. Risk rating is different than the difficult rating. So I was doing that wrong. It's not DR, it's risk. Right? So we've got a risk of 2. I did that wrong. This is good. All right, so if you've got a risk of 2, then you draw that many cards, and every time you get a red, or a black, you add to the difficulty rating by 2. What it's not clear to me, though, is because you set the difficulty rating 9, 12, or 15. I'm just gonna assume that we start at 9 when we attack, I guess. All right, but we're doing a trial roll. So we're determining the difficulty rating of this enemy, I guess. I think this is right. Probably isn't, but we have to draw 2. And we've got a 1 black card. So we're saying that the difficult rating is an 11 to hit. That's what we're saying, I guess. Oh no, because we start at standard. We'll start at standard, so we have to go by 2, so we have to get over a 14. Yep, that sounds sure. So I have to roll over a 14, but I do get a +3. So I got it. I got a 14 directly. So my plan to shoot into the mouth of the belly of the beast worked, and now I can do D6 of damage. All right, which is 6. It's not a critical. The critical would have been if I'd rolled a 20 to hit, but I did do 6 damage. But our friend, the water worm, does get D4 of armor, and he does block 3. So, but I did a fair amount of damage to our little worm guy. But now I'm in his pathway. He has got to roll a trial roll as well. Okay. So how do we determine his trial roll? I don't know. We'll go based on the fact that he was really close to me, means that we'll say that his is a pretty standard attack as well, but he doesn't get any advantage. He's got to roll over I say he, it could be a she, or it could be asexual. Aren't worms asexual sometimes? I don't know what they are. The worm will need to get over a 12. He does not. I am able to dodge aside. All right, so now I'm going to attack again. I wonder if this worm is going to be as stupid this time to open its mouth and allow me to attack those. So let's find out if it is, just because I don't think we need to do this, but it just keeps the narrative more interesting. So does the worm, is it stupid enough to attack me again with his mouth wide open such that I can shoot my super soaker full of blood directly into his mouth? And the answer is no. But is there anything that gives me an advantage? Is there anything I can do to increase the chances that it would do that? I can't think of anything narratively. I'm not being super creative today. And I'm under the gun, man. I'm like in this floodplain, being attacked by a water worm. What would you do? But, so I'm gonna have to attack it again. And this time I'm going to try to jump. This is risky. I could damage my super soaker, but I'm gonna try to jump on it and force it kind of in its mouth to finish it off. All right, sound like a plan to you guys? But yet again, I've got to roll over an 11, which I do. Excellent. So 1d6 worth of damage. 5. The rolls are going my way. The worm would need to get a 4 on its armor, otherwise this super soaker is getting emptied straight into its guts. 1. It is not enough, and our water worm is in agony, dying in agonizing, blood-blighted death. And I am excited to see it die. More so because now I get to loot. I'm guessing that there are other dead bodies floating about in this area, and that is why there is loot available. So let's take the loot. 8. Pristine ivory. Okay. Ivory, huh? Which I hopefully can sell for some good money at some point. Or, I don't know, make into something pretty. What now? I've still got to navigate my way out of here, and I'm guessing, I don't know, with water, flooded plain, to try to get out of there without drowning or actually finding a way. I mean, now I'm not pressured for time, so I'm not as worried about it. We're just going to say that I make it through, because I think I would be able to eventually figure out a way without harm coming to me in any way. So let's go to number 4 and see what we're dealing with here. Actually, I don't need to go to number 4. I can skirt along this edge. So let's do number 4 or number 5 and I'll decide. Let's just scout. I don't know if you can do this or not, but we're going to. So we're going to roll on 2 and then decide which way makes this. Should I go the long way? Maybe it'll be better based on something I see, a threat, or should I go the short way? So number 4 is it is wild. So what does wild mean exactly? That could mean a lot of things. It could mean like wild as in untamed people. I don't know. Wild people. Or they're having a party. In that case, I want to go. These are wild plains. At least we're out of the water. That makes me feel good that we're out of the water and we're just in the plains. The rolling hills, I guess. But they're wild, though. Something's wild about this place. And there's a point of interest, which is ruins. Cool. So let's make some Ruined walls. Pile of snowballs is what it looks like. I'm not the greatest artist in the world. So there's some ruins, and the question is, what's the threat level? That's what we need to see. So there's a heart, and that means that the risk, I should say, the risk level is at a 1. And this is a moment of serenity and grace. That's what we know about this. So these planes are peaceful, and the ruins are peaceful. And with that in mind, I'm definitely going to go this way. And I am going to ask if there's anyone at the ruins. Are there people at the ruins? Yes. So there are people there. And because this is a risk level 1, these people, I'm guessing they mean me no harm, but let's see what kind of people they are. 3, they're hollowers. Okay, so some peaceful hollowers. Maybe they have like an entrance to their community here in the ruins, and they're kind of out and about. But I'm going to see if they'll trade. Will they trade with me? I think that's a no. But I'm going to say that I can sweeten the pot, because I can be like, hey, look at this valuable ivory I have. And are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to trade with me? And no, they really just don't. They're not interested in ivory, probably because of ethical reasons, I'm guessing. And I don't blame them. Okay, so they won't trade with me. So I guess I have no choice but to continue on. So let's see what we've got here at number 6. This is fun. Is this fun for you guys? Oops, I did that wrong. That was number 5. And I'm not even going to bother with number 4, because why, when I'm going to go this way? So number 6, difficulty rating. I'm still not, usually I get into a groove, and it's like, I probably should do like, here's the loop. I need to write down the loop and like a workflow, and that will help. But I just don't have it down. So anyway, let's go back to the risk rating though. Okay, so we've got, oh no, this is the worst. So this is a 3, a risk rating of 3, and it's imminent danger. So something's very dangerous about this place, and I'm now in danger. Let's see what we have. We've got it's mystical. Okay. What would be mystical, I wonder? Mystical. What could be mystical? I don't know. Let's roll for a little bit more detail first and see what the terrain is. It's mystical marshes. More marshes. I hate marshes. I'm sick of marshes. Is there a point of interest? There's a fortress. Okay. Some sort of fortress. We're going to say it's like a junk. Well, let's see who it is first off. What kind of baddies do we have here? And they're orbiters. Okay, so the orbiters have landed here. Maybe that's what we'll say. They've crash landed there, an orbital, a drop ship. Say they've crash landed, or maybe they're just an emergency land, but they've got some repairs to do to their drop ship. And so we've got orbiters here in the marshland, and maybe like water's gotten into the hull a little bit. But these guys are dangerous. They're not trusting of anyone around them. These are orbiters who have not come down like for peaceful reasons and to make friends. These are orbiters that mistrust and hate the residents of Earth. I don't necessarily know that yet, or my character doesn't. So he sees orbiters, and he also sees that there's no way through without confronting them. So he's going to have to speak to these orbiters. He has no choice. And as he does so, they pull out their weapons. How many orbiters are there? We'll roll on a d4. Oh, there's just one. Okay, so one orbiter that he can see, kind of out and about in the marsh, trying to assess the damage to the spaceship. And as Dis comes up to them, he takes out his gun, and he will immediately, because he just doesn't trust anyone, he thinks everyone here is out to get him, so this orbiter is going to take a shot at him. And we're going to say that this orbiter, so the worm was pretty easy to fight, so we're going to level him up a little bit. We'll still say that his armor is D4, but we are going to give him a D6 damage. We're just going to go a step at a time, and we're all going to say that his health rating, we're going to go on, oh, he's 6, so he's going to be harder to kill. So he's equipped with some futuristic technology, we'll say a laser rifle of some kind, and he will shoot. We're going to give him the initiative, though. Well, we'll ask, does he get initiative? Actually, no. So I notice what he's doing, and I take cover too. So he doesn't get the initiative right off, but we will roll for initiative, if that makes sense. I mean, I just probably should have just checked initiative. Okay. Okay, well, he does get initiative either way. So he strikes first, takes a shot with his rifle, laser rifle. Oh yeah, and what is his I mean, I don't know how to do the difficulty rating for the enemy. That is super not clear to me. But we went with 14 before. I mean, how about we do this? The difficulty rating, good for me, like the best would be if they have a 15, a formidable trial. So what we'll do is we'll go, we'll say that their difficulty rating is a 9, and it goes up for every red, because that would be good for me. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So the difficult rating for him to shoot me would be a 9. I draw 3 because, oh, let's see, it's a risk 3. So I draw 3. Now that wouldn't make sense. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we'll do it this way. His difficulty rating is 15. We start at the formidable, and he gets to draw 3 cards, and for each red that he draws, it goes down by 2. That makes sense. So then, now it's a 13, stays at 13, stays at 13. So he's got to get a 13 or more. I know that's not the way the game designer intended it, but I don't know what else to do. So he has to roll over a 13. He does a 19, and he's doing 1d6 damage to my fellow Dis. Oh, 5. I have armor rating of 4. Oh, 3 damage, so we're down to 10. Oof. Got a good laser blast to my earlobe. Right. And so now we need to check our difficulty rating. There's a chance, so our difficulty rating is a 9, and now we draw 3, and it goes up by 2 for every red, or for every black. So we're at 11. Oh, 13. Oh, 15. So this is definitely not going to be an easy battle. I gotta get over 15. So because of that, I think what I want to do is try to get an advantage. I want to try to get an advantage over him, because it's going to be hard for me to roll over a 12. I'd rather an easier shot, hoping that will do more damage. So how do I do that again? I can improve my odds. Make a trial roll to attempt to reduce This game doesn't make any sense. So I can make a trial roll to reduce future trial rolls? Why would I do that? Oh, this game doesn't make sense. Okay, we're just gonna shoot him. Over a 15, but I get a +3. Is that what we're doing? 9. Oops. Yeah. Okay. So I have to get over a 12. I have to get over a 12 to hit him. 8. I missed. All right. His turn. And he has to get over. What did I say? I should write this down. He has to get over a. What did I say? He has to get over a 12 to hit me, and I have to get over a 15 to hit him. All right. Over a 12. Okay, he missed. Okay, we're just shooting at each other, pot shots. Not a whole lot of narrative happening here. Oh, maybe I should try that's what I could do. This is maybe where I want to do a feat attack, because the feat attack, I can describe how I harm the enemy, creative way. Oh, but that's after I have to do the trial the same way. Describe how, okay, that's not super helpful. So either way, I have to roll over a 12. We both have to roll a 12. That's easier to remember. We both have to roll over a 12. Okay. It's 12s, a battle of 12s. All right, I got a 13. So, yes. 6 damage. Let's see what he can do with his armor. And he can block 2 of them. So he gets 4. That was a good battle. I mean, that was a good hit. I think morale might come into play here, because he's definitely, see, if they feel outnumbered or they reveal a card, they could flee. I think we're gonna go with that. Like, he's probably at this point, that was a really good hit, and he doesn't know what he just hit him, because this like blast of blood that's like sizzling into his skin, he has no idea what that is. So it makes sense that at this point he'd be like, okay, I'm out of here. So let's see if he, let's see what he does. Okay, so he diamonds it up. He does try to surrender or negotiate. He's like, oh no, don't, blah blah blah, don't hurt me. Let me go. And I say, drop your weapon, which he does readily, which I grab. That's the first thing, because why wouldn't I? A laser rifle? Heck yes. I mean, it's not as cool as a blood squirt gun, though, let's be honest. And I say, hey, I didn't mean you any harm, buddy. It's a shame you shot at me. And I'm gonna say, do you have any medical equipment? I can help you out. And well, first off, is there anyone else here? Are you alone? That's the first thing. Is there anyone else inside the drop ship? So let's see. I want it to be yes. So I'd say, are you alone? Yes, he's alone. Okay, so I'll say, listen, I didn't mean you any harm, and I'm willing to let you go because you know, I'm not here to hurt you. Do you have anything that we can patch up our wounds with? So, yes, he does. He's got something to patch it up with. So let's see, when we do a rest, a half-hour break, or we can spend a couple, or a long rest, we can do some endurance recovery. So we'll do that with this fellow. Some endurance recovery. Oh, except that could invite trouble. So he says that he's got a patch kit. Let's just go ahead and see if we can heal. So we'll assume we heal him up as much as we can, and he will say that he gets to heal me 1d4 with whatever health stuff he's got, med kit. All right, so I get 2 out of that, and I'm not gonna long rest because I don't want to. I'm in a hurry. I gotta get to the end of this island before my band does, to prove that I'm the man. So okay, let's check for, I mean, I'm trying to be nice to him though. I've already taken his laser rifle. I'm not gonna rob him further, but I am not gonna give him his weapon back, because I mean, I don't want him to shoot me in the back as I leave. So I'm gonna be like, best of luck. If I come back this way, maybe we can try to help with my band. Maybe we can try to get you back in the air again. Although his technology is pretty foreign to us, so probably won't, but who knows? All right, so we're gonna move on. And I think that's a fair point to stop. I always told myself I would play games until I learned the rules, 1, and then if I'm still having fun, when I'm more confident with the rules, that I would keep playing until I finish a campaign. But if I'm bored, I'm going to stop, or frustrated. And this game, I like the story. I do. I enjoy, and I like hexcrawlers. but it's too ambiguous. There's too much I have to fill in the blank. These rules are not buttoned up enough, and that's that's frustrating for me. I don't like having ambiguity. If it's my fault, that's okay. Like if I'm just not getting the rules because I've been impatient and skimmed through them and just went too fast, that's my fault. I'm not going to blame the game for that, and usually I'll keep going if I'm enjoying it and try to figure out the rules. In this case, the rules are absolutely not clear, and that is not my fault. I blame our French friend, which, you know what, he's got a good start to this game, and there's a lot of really great things that I liked about it. I really do like games that you can learn and play in the same session. I love games like that, so there's a lot of potential here. But here's the thing, the average adult can make something like 35,000 decisions a day, which, let's face it, that's a lot. For a person like me, where many of those decisions quite literally mean life or death, that's a fair amount of mental load. Add that a solo RPG where you take on the role of both game master as well as player, and in doing that, instead of flipping through the 10 stations that you might have on your TV, your television set, you realize that playing a solo RPG game is gonna lead to decision fatigue pretty fast anyway on a normal game. But with games like this, with the Songs of Saga framework, you can run it solo, certainly, but it comes at it's not going to be a great experience because it comes at a huge expense mentally. There's a lot you have to figure out and come up with. If I were to keep running through this campaign, I would need to write some mechanics to remove the decision fatigue that enters into it. Just as kind of I did like writing this, filling in the blanks that the lore didn't fill in for a proper oracle that fits with the theme that they didn't provide. But also just clarifying those rules, and those mechanics. And the biggest thing that I actually don't love about a game like this always is, in this case, it wasn't a big deal because we came up with a definite end to the story, like what would constitute an end objective. But there would be other times I could see you being like, I have to find something. Well, when do you decide in a solo RPG that you've actually found it? Is it the last hex? Like, there's nothing that determines or gives you that sense of progression. So that would be problematic if I was playing a game where it was an exploration game or a mystery game. There's no built-in mechanic that helps you understand that you're getting closer to your objective. There's no thread, logic, or anything like that. So it's not great for solo. If it's the GM wants to run something like that, this would make more sense, but not good for solo. Additionally, creating baddies is just too wide open until you've had time to actually fight. It's super hard to know what a fair fight is. Even simple monsters or a balancing table, just even a couple examples would help. And then knowing what the monster's difficulty rating is, there's no way to know that. That's not clear. That's a big hole. So with all that being said, this is a rules light system that has promise. It just needs a bit more help to make it a pleasant experience, and certainly for solo play. So in conclusion, would I play Wastewalkers again? I'm gonna go with no. We're going to give it needs work. I'm not gonna play it again. Not at least in this state. But it wasn't a complete waste of an evening. I got to spend some time speaking to my VHS recorders, and I'll be able to stick these tapes in my temporally distorted P.O. box with the knowledge that my helper, Chun-Li, will somehow put this in front of an awaiting audience of socially adjusted and law-abiding humans, and that's exciting to me. As a reminder, if you would like to send me MREs, ammunition, antibiotics, toilet paper, or more likely, what always seems to come, solo TTRPG related content, you will find my address for my temporally distorted P.O. box somewhere in whatever distribution method Chudley uses to share this content with you. But in the meantime, may you be protected from the mutant geese or whatever equivalent malady faces you in your own apocalypse. Goodbye.